Good morning all. Today we will be discussing intrinsic carrier concentration. We will derive the expression for intrinsic carrier concentration of semiconductor. In free electron theory, we have studied the expression for energy as h bar square k square by 2m equal to E, and the E versus K diagram for free electron we have drawn like this. From free electron theory, we have obtained the expression for energy as h bar square k square by 2m equal to E. From that, we determined the density of states as density of states is represented by Ge, which represents the number of states available in unit energy range. If we are having energy range dE between E and E plus dE, then the number of states available between dE energy range can be written as GE/dE. GE represents the number of states per unit energy range. So if we are having dE energy range between E and E plus dE, then the number of states available in energy range E and E plus dE can be written as GE/dE, which is given by is calculated as GE/dE equal to V by 2 pi square 2m by h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2 E raised to 1 by 2 dE. This equation we have already derived. So GE proportional to E raised to 1 by 2. The variation of density of states with the energy E. So it is proportional to E raised to 1 by 2. So the variation is a parabola like this. GE proportional to E raised to 1 by 2. This is the expression for density of states from free electron theory. Now we have obtained the band diagram for a semiconductor as, for a semiconductor, this is valence band and this one is conduction band. K, E versus K graph. The topmost level of valence band we are taking it as EV. The bottommost level of conduction band we are taking it as EC. Its energy level difference is EC minus EV is forbidden energy gap EG. Now we will calculate the density of states of electrons in conduction band. Density of states of electrons in conduction band. The energy of electron in conduction band from band theory we have calculated it as EC plus h bar square k square by 2 me, where me is the effective mass of electron. It is the effective mass of electron in conduction band. So from that we can write h bar square k square by 2 me as E minus EC. Here from free electron theory h bar square k square by 2m equal to E. From that we have derived the density of states as GE/dE equal to a constant into E raised to 1 by 2 dE. So similar expression we can obtain for electrons in conduction band. In a similar way we can obtain the density of states of electrons in conduction band. Since this is density of states of electrons, I am giving a suffix E. GE/dE is equal to V by 2 pi square 2m, here the mass of electron, effective mass of electron in conduction band. So 2me by h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2. Then instead of E we will be having E minus EC. So it is E minus EC raised to 1 by 2 dE. Density of states of electrons in conduction band. This is the number of states available for electron in energy range between E and E plus dE. GE represents the density of states. So when we draw the variation of density of states with the energy for electrons in conduction band, it is proportional to E minus EC the whole raised to 1 by 2. That means when E equal to EC, the density of states is 0. As E increases beyond EC, then the density of states also increases. Let this point E equal to EC. Then at E equal to EC, the density of states is 0 since this term is 0. As E increases beyond EC, then the density of states also increases. So from here, the variation is like this. This graph represents the density of states of electrons in conduction band. When we take the topmost level of valence band as 0 energy, if this is 0 energy level, then we can take EV as 0. Then EC will be, if I take this point as 0 energy level, then EC will be equal to EG. If I take topmost level of valence band as 0 energy level, then this equation can be written as, writing that equation. The density of states of electron, GE, EDE, that will be equal to V by 2 pi square to ME by H bar square, the whole raised to 3 by 2, then E minus EG raised to 1 by 2 DE. EC, we can give it as EG, so it will be E minus EG raised to 1 by 2 into DE. Now we will calculate the density of states of holes. For holes in valence band, the energy is given by E is equal to EV minus H bar square K square by 2 mH, where mH is the effective mass of holes in valence band. It is EV minus H bar square K square by 2 mH. That's why the valence band is curved downwards. This due to this minus sign. The conduction band is curved upwards. Here it is EC plus H bar square K square by 2 ME. From that, when we calculate H bar square K square by 2 mH, it will be equal to, taking this term to left hand side, this to right hand side, we obtain this as EV minus E. So the density of states, in a similar way, replacing E by EV minus E by EV minus E, we can obtain the density of states for hole. So for hole, we can write the density of states as GHE DE equal to V by 2 pi square to, here it is mH, effective mass of holes, by 2 mH by H bar square, the whole raised to 3 by 2. Instead of E, we are replacing by EV minus E raised to 1 by 2 DE. So when we draw the variation of density of states of holes with the energy, I am drawing the variation of density of states of holes in valence band in the same diagram. If I draw the density of states of holes, then when E equal to 0, when energy equal to 0, it is EV raised to 1 by 2. That means the density of states will be maximum. As energy increases, the density of states decreases, and when E equal to EV, then this term becomes 0, so the density of states becomes 0. So when E equal to 0, the density of states of holes in valence band is maximum, and when E increases, this term decreases, thereby the density of states decreases and becomes 0 when E equal to EV. So this density of states decreases with the increase in energy. This is 0 energy, and when it reaches this point E equal to EV, the density of states becomes 0. From here to here, this is the difference between EC and EV. The difference between EC and EV is equal to EG. So this difference in energy will be equal to band gap. This is the variation of density of states of valence band, and this one represents the variation of density of states of conduction band. Now we take the topmost level of valence band as 0. If I take EV equal to 0, this equation becomes, we can write the density of states of holes as GHE DE is equal to, here we will be getting same ME instead of ME, here it will be MS. So it is V by 2 pi square to MH by H bar square, the whole raised to 3 by 2. Then if EV is taken as 0, then it will be minus E raised to 1 by 2 D. Don't bother about the negative sign here, because E, the energy of valence band, the energy of holes in valence band will be negative. If it is negative, then here minus sign is there, so the minus E will be a positive quantity, so the density of states will be a real number. The holes in valence band which are having negative energy. As the energy increases, holes will go deep in valence band. The energy of electrons, as the energy of electrons in conduction band increases, the electrons go up in conduction band. So this is the expression for density of states of holes, and this one gives the density of states of electrons. Now, the occupancy of electron in a state is given by Fermi-Dirac distribution. We know the Fermi-Dirac distribution function as f of E is equal to 1 by e raised to e minus mu by kt plus 1, where mu is chemical potential which is equal to Fermi energy at absolute zero temperature. When T equal to 0, when T equal to 0 and E less than mu, we know that the Fermi-Dirac distribution function, when T equal to 0 and E less than mu means this is a negative quantity, so it is e raised to minus infinity, that will be 0, then 1 by 1 means 1. When T equal to 0, E less than mu, f of E is 1. When T equal to 0, E greater than mu, then f of E will be E greater than mu. This is a positive quantity, so T equal to 0, so it will be e raised to infinity. That time becomes infinite, then 1 by infinity will be 0. When we draw the variation of Fermi-Dirac distribution function, f of E versus temperature, f of E versus E graph, for T equal to 0, this is graph for T equal to 0, this energy E equal to EF. Below E equal to EF, the occupancy is 1, and above E equal to EF, the occupancy is 0. Now consider T greater than 0. When T greater than 0 and E equal to EF, at the Fermi energy or E equal to mu, when E equal to mu, this term becomes, when E equal to mu, this is e raised to 0, which is 1. So 1 by 1 plus 1. So it will be the probability of occupancy will be 1 by 2. So the variation is like this. So this occupancy is nearly 1 by 2. This is for T greater than 0. T greater than 0, some levels below EF will be vacant and some levels above EF will be occupied. By absorbing thermal energy, it can occupy the states above Fermi level. Now we have to calculate the number of electrons in conduction band, total number of electrons in conduction band. We know the number of states available in conduction band, that is given by this equation, and the probability of occupancy of each state is given by Fermi-Dirac distribution function. So to find the number of electrons, this is the number of states available between E and E plus DE, and this is the probability of occupancy. That means the number of electrons between E and E plus DE energy in conduction band can be obtained by multiplying these two terms. When we multiply the density of states, the number of states available between E and E plus DE with the distribution function, we will get the number of electrons in energy range E and E plus DE. Then integrate for the total energy range, we will get the total number of electrons. Now we will find the number of electrons in conduction band. Before going that, I will draw the band diagram. We know for valence band, the topmost level of valence band is EV. Then this one is conduction band. Its lowermost level is EC. And here the Fermi level is in the energy gap. This is energy gap. Now I will draw the probability of occupancy. I am changing the axis. Here the probability of occupancy F is taken along X direction and the energy is taken along Y direction. Here also energy is taken along the Y direction. So the probability of occupancy, so at a Fermi level, we are taking temperature greater than 0. So its occupancy will be like this. At a Fermi level, when E equal to mu, the probability of occupancy will be 1 by 2. So this is for temperature T greater than 0. Also I will draw the density of states, variation of density of states with the energy. I have already drawn that. Here I am changing the axis. X direction I am drawing the density of states G, and Y direction energy is taken. So the variation, the density of states of conduction band at E equal to 0, the density of states for holes in conduction band is maximum, and it increases, it decreases and becomes 0 when this level is EV. When E equal to EV, the density of states of valence band, it is for valence band, the density of states of holes in valence band which becomes 0 for E equal to EV, and then for conduction band, this is EC, conduction band at when E equal to EC, the density of states is 0, and thereafter the density of states increases. So for conduction band, the density of states is like this. So in this case, in the case of electrons in metal, free electron theory, we have assumed that the Fermi energy is the maximum energy of electrons at absolute 0 temperature. At T equal to 0 Kelvin, it is the maximum energy at maximum energy of electrons at absolute 0 temperature. It is the energy of maximum occupied level. But in this case, at Fermi level, no electrons are occupied because the Fermi level is in the energy gap. So the occupancy we can obtain by multiplying this with this one. So here the density of states is 0. So when we multiply this density of states with this one, here it is 0. So here no electrons will be present in the forbidden energy gap. Here the density of states is non-zero. When we multiply with this one, we will be having some occupancy of holes at this point, and here also when we multiply this, we will be having some occupancy of electrons in this state. So between that, this will be EC and this one will be EV. Between that, no occupancy will be there. The Fermi level is, in the case of semiconductors, the Fermi level is in the energy gap. So no electron will be occupying the Fermi level in semiconductors. Now we will take on assumption that EC minus mu. In this, while calculating the carrier concentration, intrinsic carrier concentration, we will assume that EC minus mu is very, very greater than KT. EC minus mu is very, very greater than KT. Also, mu minus EV. Mu minus EV is very, very greater than KT. So that two assumptions we have made here for calculating the number density of electrons. Now we will calculate the number density of electrons. So the number of electrons, the density of states of electron is given by GeE dE. It represents the number of states available in energy range E and E plus dE. So multiplying this with Fermi-Dirac distribution function for energy, Fermi-Dirac distribution function for electron, then we will get the number of electrons available between E and E plus dE. Total number of electrons can be obtained by integrating this from the conduction band. Electrons are from energy EC to infinity. That graph we know, we are integrating from, this is EC, from EC to infinity the electrons are present. So the integral limit is from EC to infinity. F of E we know 1 by e raised to E minus mu by KT plus 1. If for electron we can write this as F of E is equal to 1 by e raised to E minus mu by KT plus 1. So this energy is greater than EC. We have assumed EC minus mu very greater than kT. That means in this case, E minus mu very greater than kT. If E minus mu very greater than kT, this term will be a big one compared to 1. So we can take it as 1 by e raised to E minus mu by kT. Or taking this term to numerator, we can write it as f of E equal to e raised to minus of E minus mu by kT. So here the integration limit is from EC to infinity. F of E is e raised to minus of E minus mu by kT. The density of states, we have written there V by 2 pi square 2 me by h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2. Then E minus Eg raised to 1 by 2 into d. Here we have taken the topmost level of valence band as the zero energy, EV equal to 0. So EC is taken as Eg there. So our integration limit, we are integrating from EC to infinity, but EC can be taken as Eg. So this integration limit I am changing from Eg to infinity, e raised to minus E minus mu by kT into a constant, then E minus Eg raised to 1 by 2 dE. Taking the constants outside the integral, from this we can take this value V by 2 pi square 2 me by h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2. Then here minus plus e raised to plus mu by kT, we can take it outside. It is independent of E. So we can take e raised to mu by kT outside. Then the integral from Eg to infinity, here e raised to minus e by kT, then e minus Eg raised to 1 by 2 d. So here it is e minus Eg. In the exponent also, if I am giving e minus Eg, here the same constant we will be getting V by 2 pi square 2 me by h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2 e raised to mu by kT, integration limit from Eg to infinity. In the exponent, if I am writing e raised to minus e minus Eg by kT, then I have written on additional term there, minus, then plus Eg by kT. To balance that, I will multiply here e raised to Eg by kT. So Eg is constant, Eg by kT is constant, integration is over E. So I am taking this term outside. Then e raised to minus e minus Eg by kT, e minus Eg raised to 1 by 2 into d. For simplifying this integral, we are taking the substitution. We are making a substitution that x equal to e minus Eg by kT. So e minus Eg will be equal to ktx, dE will be equal to kt into dx. Substituting this integral, we can simplify it as integration limit when E equal to Eg, then x will be E equal to Eg, then x equal to 0. So the lower integral is 0. Then when E equal to infinity, x equal to infinity. So the integration limit we can change from 0 to infinity. This integral, I am writing this integral here. So it is integral 0 to infinity. Then e raised to minus x. Here on constant, e minus Eg raised to 1 by 2. E minus Eg is ktx. Raised to 1 by 2 means kt raised to 1 by 2 into x. Kt raised to 1 by 2, I am taking it outside. So kt raised to 1 by 2. Then here it will be x raised to 1 by 2. Then dE. Instead of dE, we can take kt dx. Kt I am taking outside. So it is kt dx. So kt raised to 1 by 2 into kt. That will be kt raised to 3 by 2. Then here this integral is there. Integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus x raised to 1 by 2 dx. It is a standard integral. Its value is pi raised to 1 by 2 by 2. So this integral becomes kt raised to 3 by 2 into pi raised to 1 by 2 by 2. Substituting this value here. Instead of this integral, we can give the value. Instead of that integral, I am writing kt raised to 3 by 2, then pi raised to 1 by 2 by 2. Kt raised to 3 by 2, we can take it inside this raised to 3 by 2. So we can write pi square here, pi raised to 1 by 2. Taking this pi raised to 1 by 2 to denominator, it will be pi square minus 1 by 2. So it is 4 minus 1 by 2. Pi raised to 3 by 2. That means this pi square I can also take inside. Pi raised to 1 by 2 and pi square, we will get pi raised to 3 by 2 in the denominator, and that can be taken to inside. So it will be v by 2. Then here on 2 is there. 2 into 2, it will be 4. V by 4. Then 2 me kt by pi h bar square, the whole raised to 3 by 2. Then here the term will be e raised to mu by kt. Then e raised to mu by kt. Here it will be e raised to eg by kt. This is number of electrons. So if we take number of electrons per unit volume, this is V is the volume of cell, volume of the crystal. So if we take number of electrons per unit volume, then V equal to 1. So it can be written as small n, number of electrons per unit volume, number of electrons per unit volume n equal to 1 by 4 into 2 me kt by pi h bar square, the whole raised to 3 by 2, e raised to mu by kt, e raised to eg by kt. So this is the expression for number of electrons per unit volume. I am taking this as equation 1. Here on minus is missing. Actually, this equation, when we rewrite this equation here, this will be integral eg to infinity. I have made one mistake there. E raised to minus e by kt, e minus eg raised to 1 by 2d. So here inside the integral we have written eg to infinity e raised to minus e minus eg by kt. Then e minus eg raised to 1 by 2d. So inside the integral we have written e minus of e minus eg by kt. So it will be minus minus plus. So we have written plus eg by kt inside. So outside we have to write e raised to minus eg by kt. So by mistake I have written here it as eg by kt. It is not eg by kt, it is minus eg by kt. So here it will be e raised to minus eg by kt, and here it will be e raised to minus eg by kt. So this is the expression for the number density of electrons in conduction band. Now in a similar way we will calculate the number density of holes in valence band. We can calculate the number density of holes in valence band. For calculating the number density of holes in valence band, that I am taking it as P. Number density of holes in valence band, we can take it as P. Then it will be the product of FHE with GHE. Then integrating valence band, it is from, so this is valence band, this topmost level is EV, and this is taken as 0 energy. If I take this as 0 energy, then it is from minus infinity to, if I take this energy as EV, then it will be from, the integration limit is from minus infinity to EV. I am taking it as minus infinity to EV. If EV is taken as 0, then we can write it as minus infinity to 0. 0, the topmost level of valence band is taken as 0 energy. Now, GHEDE, that we know, V by 2 pi square, 2 mH by h bar square, the whole raised to 3 by 2 minus e raised to 1 by 2 dE. This we have obtained for taking the maximum of valence band as 0 energy. Now, the Fermi-Dirac distribution function is given by 1 by e raised to e minus mu by kt plus 1. For holes, we can write it as f of FHE is equal to 1 by e raised to e minus mu by kt plus 1. Sorry, for holes, actually the occupancy, if we are having 10 available states, out of which 8 states are occupied. That means the probability of occupancy of state is 8 out of 10, so it will be 0.8. Now, how many orbitals will be vacant? The vacant states will be 10 minus 8, that is 2 out of 10. So, the number of orbitals vacant, that vacancy is actually, that can be considered as apparent particles. That particles are called holes. So, if we are having 10 states, out of which 8 states are occupied with electrons, then the probability of occupancy of electrons in a state is 0.8 and the probability of vacancy in the states can be 0.2. So, the probability of occupancy of holes can be obtained as FHE is equal to 1 minus FE. So, the probability of occupancy of holes, we can calculate FHE as 1 minus FE. So, FE is 1 minus 1 by e raised to e minus mu by kt plus 1. On simplifying this, we will get e raised to e minus mu by kt by e raised to e minus mu by kt plus 1. So, this is the probability of occupancy of holes, F of E. FHE is equal to e raised to e minus mu by kt by e raised to e minus mu by kt plus 1. In the case of holes, the energy of holes is below, its energy is below EV, and we are assuming that mu minus EV very greater than kt. We have assumed that mu minus EV very greater than kt. So, the energy of electron in valence band, this will be less than mu. I am writing this equation as e raised to minus of mu minus e by kt by e raised to minus mu minus e by kt plus 1. Mu minus EV by kt, mu minus EV, E is less than EV, so mu minus E by kt, mu minus E by kt will, mu minus E will be very greater than kt in the case of holes in valence band. If mu minus E by kt will be mu minus E is very greater than kt, then this term will be a big number and e raised to minus a big number. That means this term will be negligibly small compared to 1. So, this can be approximately equal to e raised to minus mu minus E by kt. The term in the numerator we cannot take it as 0. The denominator, this term is negligibly small in comparison to the number 1. That's why the denominator, when adding 1 to this number, it is nearly equal to 1. So, we can write this probability of occupancy of hole as e raised to minus mu minus E by kt. So, from this equation we can calculate the density of holes in valence band. So, P is equal to integral minus infinity to 0 FH is e raised to minus mu minus E by kt, then GH is V we are taking unit number per unit volume, number density. So we can take it as 1. So it is 1 by 2 pi square into 2 ms by h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2 minus e raised to 1 by 2 into dE. Taking the constants outside, we can write e raised to minus mu by kt we can take outside. Then here 1 by 2 pi square to ms by h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2 e raised to minus mu by kt, then integral minus infinity to 0 e raised to minus, then minus e by kt, minus of minus e by kt, then minus e raised to 1 by 2 dE. For calculating this integral, we are assuming that let x equal to minus e by kt. Let x equal to minus e by kt. Then dx equal to minus dE by kt, or dE equal to minus kt dx. dE equal to minus kt dx. E equal to e we can write it as minus kt into e we can write it as minus kt into x. So this integral becomes integral minus integration limit when e equal to minus infinity, then x equal to infinity, minus e by kt. So e equal to minus infinity, x equal to infinity. When e equal to 0, then x equal to 0. So the integration limit will be from infinity to 0. This is from infinity to 0. E raised to minus e by kt is taken as x. So it is e raised to minus x. Then minus e, instead of minus e we can write kt into x. Minus e, it is kt into x. Then kt raised to 1 by 2 into x raised to 1 by 2. Kt I am taking it outside. So kt raised to 1 by 2 is taken outside. Then it will be x raised to 1 by 2. Then instead of dE we can take minus kt dx. So it is minus kt dx. Kt I am taking outside. Then here dx is there. Minus dx. Minus dx means we can change the integration limit. It is from infinity to 0. So incorporating that minus, we can change the integration limit from 0 to infinity. Kt raised to 1 by 2 into kt will be kt raised to 3 by 2. Then this integral is a standard integral. Its value we have already written there, pi raised to 1 by 2 by 2. So pi raised to, this value is pi raised to 1 by 2 by 2 into kt raised to 3 by 2. Kt I am writing here. Then pi raised to 1 by 2, here pi square, cancelling that. In the denominator we will be getting pi raised to 3 by 2, and taking that pi to inside this bracket, we can write the density of holes as p equal to 1 by 2. Here on 2 is there. So it will be 1 by 4 into then 2 ms, then kt, taking this kt inside this bracket, by pi is taken inside there. So pi h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2, then e raised to minus mu by kt. This is the expression for number density of holes in a semiconductor. This I am taking it as equation 2. This can also be written as taking this for taking this outside, we can write this equation as n equal to 1 by 4 into 2. I am writing it as 2 square by 2 me kt by pi h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2, then e raised to mu by kt minus Eg. So mu minus Eg by kt. This 2 square taking outside, it will be 2 square the whole raised to 3 by 2. So it is 2 cube. 2 cube means 8. 8 by 4 means 2. So when it is taken outside, we can take it as 2. So it can also be written like this. N equal to 2 into me kt by 2 pi h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2 e raised to mu minus eg by kt. The equation 1 represents the number density of electrons in conduction band, and equation 2 represents the number density of holes in valence band. When we take the product of these two, n into p gives, so 1 by 4 it will be 1 by 16, then raised to 3 by 2 into raised to 3 by 2, so it will be whole cube, then ms raised to 3 by 2 into me raised to 3 by 2, that we can take outside. So it is 2 kt by pi h bar square the whole square, the whole cube, it is whole cube, then me raised to 3 by 2, me raised to 3 by 2 into ms, by me ms raised to 3 by 2, me ms raised to 3 by 2, then multiplying these two, e raised to minus mu by kt, and here it is plus mu by kt, so that will cancel. Then e raised to minus eg by kt. So this is n into p. Equation number 3. From this equation, it is clear that the product of number density of electrons to number density of holes is independent of the chemical potential mu. At a given temperature, for a given material, this n into p is equal to a constant. If I keep the temperature constant, then this product remains constant. So this is law of mass action. Law of mass action. The product of electron density and hole density remains constant at a given temperature. It is applicable for both intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor. Nowhere we have assumed that this semiconductor is intrinsic. So it is applicable. The only assumption we have made is Ec minus mu very greater than Kt and mu minus Ev very greater than Kt. And nowhere we mention it is an intrinsic semiconductor. That means it is applicable for both intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. So the product of number density of electrons and holes always remains constant, which is n into p equal to this term, which is equal to a constant at constant temperature, which is called the law of mass action. Now for an intrinsic semiconductor, when we consider intrinsic semiconductor, the electrons at room temperature, electron can excite from valence band to conduction band, and the number density of electrons in conduction band will be same as the number density of holes in valence band. So we can write the intrinsic case n equal to p, that I am taking these two carrier concentrations are same, so I am taking it as ni, which is called the intrinsic carrier concentration. It is intrinsic carrier concentration. So when n equal to p for intrinsic stage, we can equate these two equations. On equating this constant will get cancelled. Then here, when I take n, then here on term is there me raised to 3 by 2, then e raised to mu by kt, then e raised to minus eg by kt equal to, constants will get cancelled, then from p 1 by 4 2 kt by pi h bar square get cancelled, then you get this ms raised to 3 by 2, then e raised to minus mu by kt, or e raised to mu by kt. From this taking this e raised to minus mu by kt to left hand side, then it will be e raised to 2 mu by kt. E raised to 2 mu by kt is equal to, taking this term to right hand side, it will be ms by me raised to 3 by 2, ms by me raised to 3 by 2, then taking this term to right hand side, it will be e raised to plus eg by kt. Or we can write e raised to mu by kt is equal to, taking the square root, we can take e raised to mu by kt, raised to 1 by 2. Then it will be ms by me raised to 3 by 2 raised to 1 by 2. So it will be 3 by 4. Then e raised to eg by kt raised to 1 by 2. It will be e raised to eg by 2 kt. So taking the log of this, we will be getting mu by kt equal to log of this one, eg by 2 kt plus 3 by 4 into ln ms by me. Or multiplying by kt, we will get mu as, mu is equal to, I am writing it here, mu equal to, multiplying by kt, it will be eg by 2 plus here 3 by 4 kt ln ms by me. So this is the expression for Fermi level. Fermi level, mu equal to eg by 2 plus 3 by 4 kt ln ms by me. If I take mh equal to me, if mh, effective mass of hole, is equal to effective mass of electron, then it will be, this term will be 0. Then in that case, mu equal to eg by 2. So the Fermi level is in the energy gap, and when mh equal to me, the Fermi level is at the middle of energy gap, which is at eg by 2. So here we have obtained an equation, e raised to mu by kt equal to ms by me raised to 3 by 4 into e raised to eg by 2 kt. So for intrinsic case, this electron density can be written as substituting this value of e raised to mu by kt to this equation, for intrinsic carrier concentration, we have taken n equal to p equal to ni. From that we got this equation e raised to mu by kt as this one. So substituting the value of e raised to mu by kt in this equation, we will get the intrinsic carrier concentration. So intrinsic carrier concentration can be written as ni equal to 1 by 4 into, this term will be 2 me kt by pi h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2 e raised to minus eg by kt. E raised to mu by kt, we can write it as ms by me the whole raised to 3 by 4 e raised to eg by 2 kt. Then this is for e raised to mu by kt, this one. Then e raised to minus eg by kt. On simplifying this, we will get the intrinsic carrier concentration as Na equal to 1 by 4 2 kt by pi h bar square the whole raised to 3 by 2. I am taking me raised to 3 by 2 outside. So this me raised to 3 by 4 and me raised to 3 by 2 will get cancelled. So we will be getting me raised to 3 by 4 into ms raised to 3 by 4. So we can write ms raised to 3 by 4, then e raised to eg by 2 kt into e raised to minus eg by kt, that will be e raised to minus eg by 2 kt. So this is the expression for intrinsic carrier concentration of a semiconductor. So taking the square of this one, when we take Ni square, it will be 1 by 16 into 2 kt by pi h bar square the whole cube. Then me ms raised to 3 by 4 the whole square will be 3 by 2. Then e raised to minus eg by 2 kt, it will be e raised to minus eg by kt. So taking the square of this one, we will get n into p. That means n into p equal to Ni square. This is law of mass action. So in any intrinsic or extrinsic state, the product of charge carriers remains constant. This equation, we can write this equation as Ni equal to, I am taking this as N0, then e raised to minus Eg by 2 kt, where N0, this coefficient of e raised to minus Eg by 2 kt is written as N0 there, then N0 e raised to minus Eg by 2 kt. That means the number of electrons or holes in an intrinsic semiconductor depends on the factor e raised to minus Eg by 2 kt. It depends on Eg by 2 kt. So this is the expression for intrinsic carrier concentration and the law of mass action. Now we will study the extrinsic semiconductors. Extrinsic semiconductors. The impurities and imperfections in a semiconductor can change the conductivity of semiconductor drastically. In a compound semiconductor, the stoichiometry deficiency can act as an impurity which can change the conductivity of material. When we add boron to semiconductor material like silicon, if I add one boron to 10 raised to 5 silicon atom in silicon semiconductor, then it can change its conductivity by 10 raised to 3 times at room temperature. So the impurity or stoichiometry deficiency can change the conductivity of semiconductors drastically. If we add an impurity deliberately to increase the conductivity of a material, conductivity of a semiconductor, then that process of adding impurity is called doping, and such semiconductors are called extrinsic semiconductors. In the case of semiconductor like silicon crystal, each silicon atom will form covalent bond with the nearby 4 silicon atoms. Silicon, the valency is 4. So a silicon atom will form covalent bond with 4 nearby silicon atoms since its valency is 4. So this silicon atom is forming covalent bond with 4 nearby silicon atoms. So this silicon atom will share 1 electron and this silicon atom will share 1 electron. So 2 electrons are sharing 1 electron. This electron belongs to this silicon and this electron belongs to this silicon. Like that, these 2 silicons share one of their electrons. So it will be in each silicon will be in a stable state by sharing 4 electrons with nearby 4 silicon atoms. In this structure, if we add an impurity, if we take donor impurity, I am taking antimony, Sb, arsenic or phosphorus to semiconductor crystal like silicon or germanium. I am taking silicon as semiconductor crystal and impurity atom, either of these atoms, they are pentavalent atom. If I add pentavalent atom, this impurity can go into interstitial position or it can substitute the host atom. In the case of silicon crystal, if I add any of these impurities, they will be substituting the silicon atom. They are not going to interstitial position, they will substitute the host atom. If I add an arsenic atom, then this silicon will be replaced by arsenic atom. Arsenic is having valency 5, so 4 electrons of silicon will be replaced by the 4 electrons of arsenic atom. They will form covalent bond with the nearby 4 silicon atoms, and the 5th electron, that electron become free. So this electron which can increase the conductivity of material. So this impurity atom is donating an electron to the crystal, so it is called donor impurity. If I take acceptor impurities, if we take acceptor impurities like boron, gallium, indium, they are trivalent atoms, their valency is 3. If I am replacing this silicon crystal, the silicon is it is forming covalent bonds with 4 nearby silicon atoms, and I am adding impurity atom boron to this structure, then this silicon atom, it will be substituted by boron atom. Boron atom is having valency 3, so the 4 electrons of silicon will be replaced by 3 electrons of boron. So here there is a deficiency of 1 electron to form covalent bond with this silicon atom. That deficiency we can call it as hole. So it will create a hole. So when I give an electron here, the system is requiring an electron for bond formation. So this impurity atom will receive 1 electron. So that impurity atom is called acceptor impurity, which creates hole in the crystal. It can increase the conductivity of materials. Such materials are called acceptor impurities. If we draw the band diagram, the energy levels, this conduction band and this one is valence band. In the case of acceptor impurity, in the case of donor impurity, the donor level, ED represents donor level. Donor level should be near the conduction band. This energy level difference for if I add donor impurity arsenic to silicon crystal, this energy level difference is of the order of 0.01 electron volt. The thermal energy KBT, when we calculate at room temperature, it is 0.025 electron volt. So at room temperature, the thermal energy is greater than this donor level difference between conduction band edge and the donor level. They are having a difference of 0.01 electron volt. So at room temperature, these donor atoms will be ionized and it can give electrons to the conduction band. That's why they are called donor impurity. In the case of acceptor impurity, if we draw the energy levels, the acceptor atom, it should have an energy level. It is called acceptor level. Acceptor level should be near valence band. Then only it can receive electrons from the valence band and creating holes in valence band. This energy level difference is also of the order of 0.1 electron volt. So at room temperature, by absorbing thermal energy, the electrons can, the acceptor atoms can receive electrons from valence band, thereby creating holes in valence band. So these are the energy diagram for acceptor and donor impurity. So by suitably selecting these materials, we can increase the conductivity of material, we can increase the carriers in the material, we can increase the N-type carrier, or we can increase the holes in a material. So if you want to make a material as N-type, for making N-type semiconductor, the number density of donor atom should be greater than the number density of acceptor atom. So the number of electrons in the material can be approximately equal to Nd minus Na. The number density of holes can be written as, in N-type material, we can write the number density of holes as we know from the law of mass action, N into P is equal to a constant, which is equal to this product of charge carriers in intrinsic stage N equal to P, it is written as Ni, so it is Ni square. So the whole concentration can be written as Ni square by N is equal to Ni square by Nd minus Na. This is the case with the N-type semiconductor, where the electrons are excess. That's why it is called N-type semiconductor. For making that, the number density of donor atoms should be greater than the number density of acceptor atoms. In the case of P-type semiconductor, P-type means it is having excess number of holes. For making number density of holes greater than the number density of electrons, we should take number density of acceptor atoms greater than the number density of donor atoms. So we can write the number density of holes approximately equal to Na minus Nd. So according to law of mass action, N into P equal to Ni square. So we can write the number density of electrons in p-type material as Ni square by P, or we can write N equal to Ni square by Na minus Nd. This is the number density of electrons in p-type. This is number density of holes in p-type. This one is number density of electrons in n-type. This is number density of holes in p-type. Okay, thank you.